Many people reach moments in their lives when everything feels strangely unfamiliar, as if the ground beneath them is shifting in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. They sense something changing, but they cannot quite identify what it is. Maybe it appears as an inner restlessness that refuses to quiet down, or a repeated feeling that they are standing at a crossroads without understanding how they arrived there. Others describe a sensation that their intuition has become unusually sharp, almost too accurate, as though it is trying to pull their attention towards something important. These experiences often arise during transitions, but for some, they feel more profound, as if the universe itself is trying to speak directly to them. If you've been experiencing anything like this, moments of clarity that appear out of nowhere, subtle signs that catch your attention repeatedly, dreams that feel more like messages than random images, there is a reason. These signals are not coincidences, they are not random, they are not noise, they are intentional and directed. Spirit guides communicate in quiet ways, through instinct, timing, and meaningful patterns that surface when you are finally ready to receive them. And right now, they are trying to reach you with a message that carries more weight than usual. It's a message specifically meant for someone who has been feeling separated from the ordinary, someone who feels pulled towards something beyond what is immediately visible. It is a message for the one who is awakening, the one who is being prepared, the one often referred to as the chosen one. This does not mean chosen in a grandiose or dramatic sense. It means chosen for a shift, chosen for alignment, chosen for a moment of clarity that has the potential to change your path. Spirit guides step forward when a person reaches a threshold, when old cycles approach completion and new cycles begin to open. They step in when the veil between confusion and understanding becomes thin enough for truth to pass through. And they step in now because the signs you've been noticing, the feelings you've been unable to shake, are part of a larger pattern that is beginning to unfold. In this video, you are going to understand exactly why these signals are appearing. You will learn the deeper meaning behind the intuition that has been intensifying, the inner tension that has been rising, and the repeated reminders that seem to follow you even when you try to ignore them. The purpose of this message is to decode what your spirit guides have been trying to deliver, to translate what has been sent to you through signs, impulses, and subtle energetic shifts, and to present it clearly, directly, and without distortion. There are 3 messages you need to hear right now, and each one is connected to the changes surrounding you, the path opening ahead of you, and the actions that will determine how you move through the coming phase of your life. As you listen, allow yourself to stay open. You are not here by accident, and you did not find this message at a random moment. Spirit guides have a way of placing the right words in front of the right person at the exact time they need them. If you are hearing this, then you are meant to hear it. If it resonates, it is because the message was already present within you. This video is simply bringing it into focus. Before we begin, take a moment to center yourself, breathe, and prepare to receive what is meant for you. And if you want to continue receiving messages like this, messages designed to guide, clarify, and support your path, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who may need it, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss what comes next. Right now, your spirit guides are paying close attention to the emotional landscape you have been moving through. They see the tension you've been carrying, the uncertainty that has been building beneath your daily decisions, and the sense of pressure that has been following you even on days when nothing specific seems wrong. You may have tried to rationalize these feelings or dismiss them as temporary stress, but the reason they linger is because they are not merely reactions to isolated events. They are indicators of something deeper shifting within you. Spirit guides tend to step closer when a person is caught in an internal struggle, particularly one that has been silently accumulating over time. And in your case, they see that you have been navigating a complex mixture of confusion, fatigue, and heightened sensitivity to things you would normally overlook. This emotional pressure is not a sign of weakness or instability. It is a sign of transition. It signals that you are standing at the threshold between what you once were and what you are becoming. Many people misunderstand moments like this and think they should fight harder, push through, or ignore their feelings. But your guides are observing you carefully because they know your discomfort is a meaningful symptom of a cycle that is approaching its natural end. When a cycle is closing, the internal world becomes unsettled first, long before the external world shifts. You may feel restless without knowing why. You may feel drained by situations that used to energize you. You may feel disconnected from routines that once gave you structure. These early internal shifts are the spiritual equivalent of pressure building before a storm. The signs appear subtly at first, but they always appear with purpose. One of the clearest signs spirit guides notice is when a person begins feeling out of place. This sensation is more than simple dissatisfaction. It is the awareness that something no longer fits, even if you cannot yet identify what has changed. You might find yourself standing in a familiar environment, your home, workplace, or social circle, and suddenly sensing that it doesn't feel like it did before. Conversations may no longer resonate. Interactions may feel flat or repetitive. Activities that once felt meaningful may now feel draining or irrelevant. These sensations often create confusion because the logical mind insists that everything is the same, while intuition insists that everything is different. This tug of war is what your spirit guides have been watching, and they are trying to help you understand that the sense of being out of place is not a mistake or an emotional glitch. It is a message. It is the announcement that a cycle in your life is closing. Cycles close when the lessons they carry have been absorbed. Sometimes these lessons involve relationships, where your dynamic with someone begins to feel forced or stagnant because growth has been uneven. You may notice increased distance, more disagreements, or a strange emotional detachment that appears without warning. Spiritually, this happens when a relationship no longer supports the direction your energy is evolving toward. This doesn't always mean the relationship ends, but it does mean it must change. Spirit guides observe this disconnect and try to signal to you that the discomfort is not failure, but transition. They encourage you to look beneath the surface and recognize that the sensation of being out of place is your soul's way of preparing you for a shift in connection and alignment. Work and career shifts are another area where this feeling becomes pronounced. If you have recently felt uninspired or dissatisfied with your work, even if you once enjoyed it, your guides want you to understand that this is not burnout alone. Burnout carries exhaustion, but not detachment. What you are feeling is likely the sense that your current role is no longer aligned with your deeper sense of purpose. You may notice that tasks feel heavier than they should, or that you are craving something more meaningful, more challenging, or more authentic. Your guides see this internal conflict as a clear sign that you are being prepared to step into a different layer of your potential. They observe your hesitation, your second-guessing, and the frustration that arises when you feel stuck between security and change. But their message remains consistent. The feeling of being out of place in your current work environment is a symptom of an ending cycle, not a personal failing. Heightened intuition is another common sign that a cycle is closing. When you become unusually sensitive to energy, timing, or subtle emotional signals from others, spirit guides interpret this as a form of spiritual readiness. Intuition sharpens when the path ahead requires clarity. You may notice that you predict outcomes more easily, sense people's intentions before they speak, or receive insights that arrive suddenly and feel too accurate to dismiss. This heightened awareness can feel overwhelming, especially if you are not accustomed to relying on intuition as a form of guidance. But your spirit guides are amplifying these signals because you are approaching a transition point where intuition will serve as your compass. The old cycle relied heavily on action, routine, and persistence. The new cycle will rely more on awareness, discernment, and aligned decision-making. Your spirit guides are watching how you respond to all of this. They see the moments when you try to reason with your discomfort. They see the moments when you suppress your intuition because it contradicts your expectations. They see when you hesitate to acknowledge your restlessness because you worry it will disrupt your stability. Spirit guides do not intervene by force, they guide through recognition. They bring signs to your awareness so you can make the connections on your own. And right now, their message is that the friction you are feeling is not happening to punish you or destabilize you. It is happening to move you. A closing cycle often disrupts predictability. Your routines may feel harder to maintain. Your patience may be thinning. You may feel unusually sensitive to environments, people, or conversations. You may notice that you prefer silence more than usual, or that you seek solitude without understanding why. These instincts are not escape mechanisms, they are preparation. Spirit guides often lead people inward before a major shift, because clarity arises from distance, not from noise. If you have been withdrawing, even slightly, your guides are acknowledging this as part of your spiritual alignment. They are not signaling danger, they are signaling readiness. Some people also experience increased symbolic signs when a cycle is closing. Repeating numbers, recurring dreams, unexpected memories resurfacing, or chance encounters with people you haven't thought about in years. These are all ways spirit guides highlight themes that need closure or release. They are drawing your attention to unfinished energy, so you can resolve it before moving into the next phase. You may not recognize the purpose behind these signs immediately, but your guides encourage you to pay attention. They are trying to show you patterns that have shaped your choices, patterns that may no longer belong in the cycle ahead. The sensation of being out of place does not mean you are lost. It means you have outgrown something. It means the energy around you is shifting to make room for what is coming next. Spirit guides want you to understand that the discomfort you are currently experiencing is not a permanent state. It is a temporary tension created by old structures dissolving and new structures forming. You are in the in-between space, the space where clarity has not fully arrived, but the old path no longer fits. This is one of the most spiritually important spaces a person can occupy, and your guides are watching you with intention because they know how transformative this moment will be. As you move through this period, they want you to become more aware of the small changes happening around you. Notice the conversations that no longer interest you. Notice the ambitions that no longer excite you. Notice the relationships that feel different, even if nothing dramatic has happened. Notice the new ideas or urges that keep surfacing, the ones you set aside but cannot get rid of. These are breadcrumbs leading you toward the new cycle. Your spirit guides have been placing these signals in your path to help you navigate the transition with clarity rather than confusion. They also want you to stop blaming yourself for feeling disconnected. This disconnection is not a flaw, it is guidance, it is direction, it is a gentle push, urging you to stop forcing yourself into spaces you have already grown beyond. The emotional pressure you feel is the friction between your expanding self and your shrinking circumstances. Spirit guides observe this with compassion, knowing that you may not fully understand why you feel the way you do, but they are standing with you through the confusion so you can understand that your internal shifts are not random, they are synchronized with spiritual timing. You are moving away from what you have already learned, and the sensation of being out of place is the signal that your soul is preparing for the next chapter. Your spirit guides want you to acknowledge this truth instead of resisting it. The more deeply you understand the meaning behind your discomfort, the more easily you can move through this phase without fear. They are not pushing you away from your current life. They are guiding you towards something that matches who you are becoming. The present moment may feel heavy, but it is heavy with purpose, and everything you are feeling right now is the first sign that your next cycle is already beginning to reach you, even if you cannot see it yet. As you move through this period of inner pressure and shifting emotional currents, your spirit guides are not only observing your present state, they are actively guiding you toward a new phase that is waiting just beyond your current perception. You may not feel ready for what is coming, and that hesitation is something they clearly recognize. From their perspective, readiness does not always align with comfort. Readiness often emerges in the moments when a person feels the least certain, the least stable, or the least capable of making big decisions. This is because transformation rarely begins when a person feels secure. It begins when their internal world becomes flexible enough to allow change. Your spirit guides understand that although you may feel unprepared, you are not unqualified. The path ahead is forming because your energy has reached a point where the old paths no longer support your growth, and new directions are becoming necessary. They know you may not see this clearly yet, but they are guiding you step by step with who you are becoming. This new phase is not a destination as much as it is a realignment. Realignment occurs when your inner identity shifts faster than your outer circumstances, causing a period of imbalance that eventually forces external change. Your spirit guides want you to understand that realignment is not random. It is a recalibration of your life toward experiences that resonate with your evolving sense of self. When people resist realignment, they experience stress, stagnation, or repeated patterns that feel like setbacks. When they accept realignment, energy begins to flow more freely, and synchronicities start appearing with increasing frequency. This is the stage you are entering now. Your guides are encouraging you to trust the direction in which you are being pulled, even if you cannot yet see where it leads. Realignment is not about immediate clarity, it is about trusting the movement itself. Realignment often starts subtly. You may feel drawn to new ideas, new environments, or new people without knowing why. You may notice that certain opportunities suddenly lose their appeal, while others appear unexpectedly and feel strangely familiar, as if you have been waiting for them without realizing it. This shift in resonance is intentional. Your guides are moving you toward a path that matches your inner frequency, a path that supports your emotional, spiritual, and intellectual expansion. You may experience moments where the future feels foggy or uncertain, and this uncertainty may tempt you to cling to what is familiar. But the feeling of uncertainty is a natural part of entering a phase where the possibilities are greater than your previous limitations. Spirit guides do not require you to see the entire path. They require only that you recognize when the path is shifting. One of the primary ways your guides assist you during this stage is through synchronicities. These synchronicities are not coincidences, they are signals placed along your path to help you navigate the transition. They may come in the form of repeated numbers, unexpected conversations that address questions you've been asking internally, chance encounters with people who influence your direction, or events that align too perfectly to be accidental. When realignment is beginning, synchronicities increase because your energy is moving into a more coherent state. Spirit guides use these signs to confirm that you are moving in the right direction, even if your logical mind still doubts what you are sensing. You may also notice sudden moments of clarity that cut through your confusion, offering brief glimpses of understanding or confidence. These moments are not fleeting illusions, they are intentional sparks sent by your guides to reassure you that although the path ahead may seem uncertain, the direction is correct. Realignment rarely happens without internal resistance. The human mind prefers patterns, predictability, and familiarity, but the soul seeks growth, expansion, and alignment. When these two instincts clash, you may feel conflicted, drawn forward and held back at the same time. Your spirit guides understand this tension and want you to know that it is normal. Every person standing at the threshold of a new phase experiences some form of internal contradiction. What matters most is not whether you feel ready, but whether you are willing to move. In the coming phase, you will likely experience moments where opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. These opportunities may be subtle at first, an invitation, an idea, a sudden desire to learn something new, or a shift in perspective that opens possibilities you had not previously considered. Spirit guides orchestrate these moments by aligning circumstances so that your path becomes more visible the moment you become open to walking it. If you are willing to acknowledge these openings rather than dismiss them, they will multiply. Associated with realignment is a process of energetic magnetism. When your inner world shifts, the external world begins to respond. You may attract people who reflect your evolving self, opportunities that challenge you in healthy ways, or environments that feel unexpectedly supportive. These are signs that the new phase is already unfolding. Your guides want you to understand that support is one of the defining characteristics of the path ahead. You are not being pushed into a difficult or isolating chapter. You are being guided toward experiences that provide reinforcement, connection, and clarity. Support may come from unexpected places, a mentor, a new friend, a strengthened relationship, or even a sudden sense of stability you didn't anticipate. Support can also appear in more subtle ways, such as emotional resilience, increased intuition, or a quiet confidence that you cannot fully explain. These forms of support are part of the spiritual network your guides set in place long before you reach a transition. When you begin to accept the direction you are being guided toward, the support around you activates. It does not appear before you are ready. It appears when your willingness opens the door. The idea of accepting a new direction may feel intimidating, especially if the future feels unclear. Your guides recognize your hesitation and understand that change often triggers fear, even when the change is beneficial. But they also want you to know that acceptance is not a commitment to a specific outcome. Acceptance is simply an acknowledgement that the old cycle is ending and that you are ready to allow something new to begin. Acceptance creates space. Space allows movement. Movement reveals the path. When you resist, the path becomes difficult to see. When you soften your resistance, synchronicities become undeniable, opportunities become visible, and your intuition grows louder and more precise. This path ahead will require you to trust your internal responses more than your external circumstances. External circumstances often lag behind internal growth. This lag creates a moment of tension where life appears unchanged, even though you can feel the transformation happening beneath the surface. During this period, your spirit guides encourage you to rely on your intuition as your primary navigation tool. Intuition connects directly to realignment. It senses shifts before the logical mind can interpret them. When your intuition becomes stronger or more persistent, it is a sign that you are entering a part of your path where subtle guidance matters. Even if you feel unsure, your intuition will communicate through sensations, impulses, and an inner pull toward or away from certain choices. Spirit guides amplify this pull to help you make decisions aligned with the new phase. As the new cycle approaches, you may experience moments of unexpected release. You might find that certain attachments lose their emotional weight, or that certain fears weaken suddenly without a clear explanation. This release is a preparation your spirit guides facilitate so that you do not carry old burdens into the path ahead. Realignment demands travel without unnecessary weight. Old fears, old doubts, and old versions of yourself cannot accompany you into the new direction. When these emotional layers begin to fall away, you may feel lighter, more open, or more willing to embrace possibilities that once intimidated you. This emotional shedding is not accidental. It is a sign that your guides are clearing your path. Another aspect of the path ahead is expansion. Expansion may take the form of new relationships, new responsibilities, new environments, or new identities. It may also be internal, expansion of mindset, awareness, or emotional maturity. Spirit guides guide you toward expansion by drawing situations into your life that require you to evolve. These situations may feel challenging initially, but they are calibrated to your capacity. You are never guided towards something that you are not energetically prepared to handle. Even if you doubt your readiness, your guides do not. They see the strengths and potential within you that you may overlook. Their guidance is rooted in who you truly are, not who you believe yourself to be at your most uncertain moments. As you enter this new phase, it is important to recognize that forward movement does not always appear dramatic. Sometimes the path ahead unfolds quietly, through small decisions that eventually shift the trajectory of your life. Spirit guides often prefer subtle guidance because subtlety allows you to remain conscious of your own autonomy. They do not lead by force, they lead by resonance. When something aligns with your path, it feels natural, effortless, and strangely familiar. When something is not for you, it feels heavy, resistant, or draining. This contrast becomes sharper during realignment, making it easier for you to distinguish between what belongs to the new phase and what belongs to the cycle that is closing. As you begin to accept the new direction, you will notice that your sense of purpose becomes clearer. Purpose does not always reveal itself as a single mission. Often it appears as a shift in motivation, a growing desire to contribute, express, or create in ways you have not explored before. Your spirit guides intend for you to follow these impulses because they are part of the unfolding phase ahead. Purpose aligns naturally when you begin moving in the right direction. It does not require pressure, it requires presence. Your spirit guides want you to hear this. The path ahead is not something you need to fear, it is something that has been waiting for you. You are being guided toward it because your growth has positioned you to step into a timeline that matches your true self more closely. Realignment may feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is the space where transformation prepares its foundation. Synchronicities, support, and new opportunities are already forming. They will appear more clearly the moment you stop questioning whether you are meant to move forward and begin acknowledging that you already are. As your spirit guides prepare you for what lies ahead, their next message is about how you should respond to everything you have been sensing. They understand that awareness alone is not enough. Insight without movement can leave you suspended between what you know and what you refuse to act on. That is why their guidance becomes more action-oriented at this stage. They see you standing at an energetic crossroads, and the choices you make now will shape the trajectory of the new cycle that is forming around you. They are not asking you to take dramatic steps or force major changes overnight. Instead, they are asking you to begin with the simplest but most powerful form of action: listening to your first instincts. Your first instincts are not random impulses, they are spiritual signals that bypass overthinking and reach you before doubt has time to interfere. When you experience a sudden sense of clarity about a situation, or an immediate knowing that something is right or wrong for you, that sensation is not accidental. It is a response produced by your alignment with your guides. You may have learned to dismiss these instincts in the past, especially if you were taught to rely only on logic or external validation. But your guides want you to reverse that pattern now. Instinct is the language of your inner compass. It points toward opportunities, warnings, and directions long before conscious reasoning can catch up. When you are entering a new phase, trusting your first instincts is one of the most important actions you can take, because it ensures that your next steps match the guidance being placed around you. Alongside trusting your instincts, your spirit guides want you to begin removing distractions that cloud your clarity. Distractions come in many forms. They appear as obligations you no longer resonate with, environments that drain you, conversations that leave you feeling smaller, or routines that numb rather than support your growth. These distractions do not always seem harmful on the surface, which is why they are often allowed to remain longer than they should. But your guides want you to recognize that anything which disrupts your energy, even subtly, becomes exponentially more impactful when you are standing at a transitional point. A small distraction can distort a large decision. A minor emotional drain can shift your entire momentum. That is why your guides are urging you to create space around your energy now. Creating space does not require abrupt endings or dramatic breaks. It begins with observation. Notice the patterns that consume your attention without enriching your spirit. Notice the voices, internal or external, that plant doubt where clarity should be. Notice the habits that keep you occupied but not fulfilled. These are the forces that slow your alignment. Your guides are asking you to gently step back from them. Even temporary distance can shift your perspective enough to recognize what belongs to your future and what belongs only to your past. Relationships are another aspect of your life that may need distance at this time. This does not mean cutting people out harshly or abandoning meaningful connections. It simply means observing how the energy exchanges in your relationships affect your mental, emotional, and spiritual posture. Some relationships evolve with you, others anchor you to older versions of yourself. Your spirit guides want you to become aware of the relationships that consistently drain your energy, create confusion, or pull you into patterns you are trying to outgrow. These connections may not be bad, but they may no longer align with the direction your path is taking. Distance can be a form of respect, for yourself and for the other person. Space allows clarity. Space allows growth. Space allows realignment to unfold without resistance. Removing distractions and creating distance from unhealthy patterns also allows your intuition to rise without interference. When intuition is clear, the noise that usually drowns it out becomes easier to recognize. You begin to understand which thoughts are yours and which thoughts come from fear. You begin to distinguish between instinct and anxiety. You begin to sense opportunities before they form fully, and you begin to release the urge to justify your choices to anyone who cannot see what you see. This clarity is exactly what your spirit guides want for you at this stage of your journey. Your guides also want you to understand that the actions you take now, no matter how small, will have magnified effects. This amplification occurs because you are standing at an energetic crossroads. Crossroads are powerful points in a person's timeline. They represent moments when multiple timelines are available, and your choices determine the direction your life will unfold toward. At times like this, even small, aligned actions create strong momentum. A decision to speak your truth can open opportunities. A choice to reject something that no longer serves you can close an entire cycle instantly. A moment of courage can shift your path in ways you cannot yet imagine. When energy is amplifying, hesitation can create unnecessary resistance. This is why your spirit guides emphasize forward movement, not recklessness, not rushing, but movement rooted in intuition. They want you to understand that when you act from alignment, you do not need to force results. Aligned actions carry their own momentum. They attract outcomes that match your vibration and repel situations that would derail your growth. That is the nature of energetic crossroads. Everything you place your energy into becomes a signal for the direction you are choosing. Spirit guides are opening pathways for you at this very moment. You may feel this intuitively, even if you cannot yet articulate it. You may sense that something is shifting in your favor, or that unseen forces are clearing obstacles you once believed were immovable. You may notice that certain things are falling away naturally, plans dissolving, relationships changing, priorities rearranging, because those things no longer belong in the landscape of your next phase. You may also feel an internal pull toward choices that feel unfamiliar but intriguing. These sensations are confirmation that your guides are aligning the path ahead and adjusting the energy around you to create openings where previously there were none. However, they want you to hear this clearly. They can open the path, but they cannot walk it for you. A path can be illuminated, but your steps determine its meaning. Your growth depends on your willingness to act, even when acting feels uncomfortable. Your progress depends on your ability to trust, even when trust feels vulnerable. Your transformation depends on the choices you make in the quiet moments when no one is watching, because those choices define the direction of your inner world long before they manifest in the physical world. Your guides are not asking for perfection, they are asking for participation. They are asking for presence. They are asking for willingness. When you take even one step toward alignment, they move 10 steps toward supporting your movement. When you acknowledge a truth you have been avoiding, new clarity begins to flow. When you let go of something that no longer belongs to your path, something more aligned begins to approach you. This is the dance between free will and spiritual guidance. Your guides orchestrate opportunities, but you activate them through action. The message of this section is simple but profound. Trust your instincts, remove what dilutes your energy, and move toward the direction that continues to call you, even when you try to ignore it. The habits, relationships, and distractions that disrupt your clarity cannot travel with you into the next phase. They are part of the cycle that is ending. You must create space for what wants to enter. Every small decision you make to honor your intuition is a signal to your spirit guides that you are ready for the opportunities they have been preparing. You are not being asked to change your entire life overnight. You are being asked to listen. You are being asked to follow the quiet pull that leads you away from old patterns and toward new expansion. You are being asked to trust yourself in ways you may never have trusted yourself before. You are being asked to recognize that the crossroads you are standing at is not a burden, it is an opening. Your spirit guides are not guiding you toward uncertainty, they are guiding you toward alignment. They are guiding you toward clarity. They are guiding you toward a version of your life that reflects the truth of who you are becoming, not the limitations of who you once had to be. The path is opening, the signs are multiplying, the support is assembling. All that remains is your movement. Whenever you are ready to take the next step, they will be there, steady, patient, and prepared to guide you further. The moment you move, the next part of the path will reveal itself. As we come to the end of this message, take a moment to reflect on everything your spirit guides have been trying to show you. The first message was about recognizing the closing cycle, that uneasy feeling, that sense of being out of place, that growing disconnect from what once felt normal. None of it is a mistake. It is a signal, a quiet but persistent reminder that certain chapters in your life have reached their natural end. You are not losing anything, you are transitioning. You are making space for what aligns more deeply with who you are now, not who you used to be. Understanding this is the first step toward clarity. The second message centered on accepting the path ahead. Even if you don't feel ready, your spirit guides are guiding you toward a new direction that matches your evolving energy. This is the realignment taking shape around you. Synchronicities, opportunities, unexpected moments of insight. They are not coincidences. They are markers showing you that the future is shifting, opening, and preparing itself for your arrival. You are being invited to step into a more aligned version of your life. One where you don't have to shrink, suppress your intuition, or fit into spaces that no longer reflect your growth. Acceptance doesn't mean understanding everything. It means allowing the new phase to reveal itself without resisting what is meant to unfold. The third message spoke of intentional action. Your spirit guides can illuminate your path, but they cannot walk it for you. This phase you're entering amplifies the impact of even your smallest decisions. Trusting your first instincts, releasing the distractions that weaken your clarity, and distancing yourself from draining patterns or relationships. These are not minor adjustments. They are powerful signals to the universe that you are ready to move forward. When you act with intention, you match the frequency of the guidance surrounding you. And when your energy aligns with that guidance, momentum begins to build. The path becomes clearer, the opportunities become stronger, the support becomes undeniable. Through all of this, remember one thing above everything else. You are not moving through this alone. The heaviness you've been feeling, the uncertainty you've been navigating, the intuition that keeps nudging you, none of it is happening in isolation. Your spirit guides have been beside you in every moment, preparing you, steadying you, and directing you even when you didn't realize it. Their presence is subtle but constant. Their guidance is gentle but intentional. They have walked with you through the closing of the old cycle, and they are walking with you now as the new one begins to open. If this message reached you at the moment you needed it, trust that it arrived with purpose. Guidance has a way of appearing exactly on time, and if something in this message resonated with you, if it felt like confirmation or clarity, or a reminder you've been silently asking for, then allow it to settle into your awareness. Let it guide you, let it shift you, let it support you as you step into the phase that is waiting. And before you go, if this message reached you at the right time, like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and don't forget to subscribe for more.